exact thing that I'm talking about right now. Anyway, um, so in this, the disciples asked Jesus, "When are you coming?" Well, let's see here. We cut it off a little soon here. Let's see here. Matthew, where are you, Matthew? So Jesus was sitting on the Mount of Olives, and the disciples asked him, "When will this happen, and what will be the sign of your coming and the end of an age?" And Jesus answered and said, this is from the Luther Bible, 1545. For those of you that don't know that, Jesus answered and said to them, "See that no one deceives you. For many will come in my name, saying, 'I am the Messiah,' and will deceive many. You will hear of wars and rumors of wars. See that you are not alarmed. Such things must happen, but the end is still to come. For nation will rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom. There will be pestilence and famine and earthquakes in various places. These are only the beginning of trouble. Then they will deliver you up to tribulation and put you to death, and you will be hated by all nations for my name's sake. Then many will be offended and will betray one another and hate one another. And many false prophets will arise and deceive many. And because wickedness will abound, the love of many will grow cold." Yeah. And who said that the wars that he's talking about are the physical wars that we're fighting right now? Could that war not be the fake AI war that's coming soon? I think it could. I do. I think it could. Anyway, let's get into my church notes. They're a little short tonight as a greeter today, so I can only get whatever I can while still performing my duties. Anyway, 1 Samuel 3:1. In these days, if you're new here, these are my church notes, okay? It's not necessarily verbatim out of the Bible. It's not necessarily what my pastor said. It's a little bit of what I am comprehending and kind of shortening up. Um, what would you call that? Summarizing. It's me summarizing mixed with what the pastor had to say, mixed with what the Bible says. All right. Anyway. In those days, the word of the Lord was rare. One night, Eli, who was old and weak, was sleeping near the ark. The Lord called Samuel. He answered and ran to Eli, saying, "Here I am." Eli told him he didn't call. This happened 3 times. Samuel was young and did not yet know the Lord. The third time, Eli realized the Lord was calling Samuel. He told Samuel to go to the ark when the Lord called him. Finally, the Lord stood there, calling, "Samuel." Samuel responded, "Speak, for your servant's listening." He told Samuel that Eli's family was to be judged. Samuel was afraid to tell Eli, but nonetheless told him. Eli accepted his fate, and Samuel became known as a prophet, whose words came to all Israel. Trust that he can and he will. Sometimes we pray, sometimes we fast to hear the Lord. Other times he just speaks to us. I trust him, but not myself to hear him correctly. He can and will get through. By doubting ourselves, we do not fully trust God. Obey God, the message you receive. In a sense, your instincts, the thing that separates us from machines, your gut is God. If we are obedient to God, he knows that he can trust us and will speak to you more. Confidence will grow and things will happen, for it is God's will. Seek counsel from godly people. So anyway, let's get into Israel news, which is pretty short on the clip end this week. Gonna get my record going. Let's listen to some Ted Nugent tonight, huh? Why not? These records are vintage, I will add. Cat scratch fever right out the gate, huh? All right. How fitting. All right. Got to pull up my map of the greater Israel. Oh, boy, that is up there. Gonna have to redo it here soon. Maybe I'm. Where are you? Well, son of a bitch. There we go. Oh, yeah. How do I just save it? Help! I need an adult. Oh my god, you really have to. And it probably isn't going to work. Yeah, I changed everything. I normally don't support Google, but there we go. There, we'll just do that. All right. Israel news, Gaza. Israeli actions this week. Israeli strikes in Gaza have continued and intensified since the broader Iran-related pause, with reports of a 35% increase in attacks in April compared to March. On or around May 15th, the IDF conducted a precision strike in Gaza City, killing Is ad-Din al-Haddad, described as the chief of Hamas's military wing and a key architect of the October 7th attacks that Israel allowed to happen. Additional casualties were reported in the strike. Ongoing airstrikes and operations have killed dozens more Palestinians in recent weeks, amid Israeli claims of targeting Hamas rearment and infrastructure. Gaza health authorities report over 100 deaths since early April. Broader context includes stalled or fragile. Okay. See in Lebanon this week. Fragile ceasefire was extended by 45 days, allowing U.S.-mediated talks in Washington. But Israeli strikes have persisted, of course. Of course, because if you are Israel, God's chosen people, then you can go ahead and not listen to any ceasefire that you're a part of. Israel continued airstrikes and artillery on southern Lebanon targets, claiming hits on Hezbollah infrastructure, rocket launchers, and operatives. Recent strikes killed civilians and paramedics in some cases. 6 in one reported incident. Operations focused on areas like Kfar Tabnit, Arnoun, and other southern towns. Evacuation orders were issued in places like Tyre. Political instability. Moves toward early elections, potentially by October, accelerated due to coalition tensions over ultra-Orthodox draft attempts, or draft exemptions. The Knesset may dissolve soon. In the West Bank, policies advancing settlements, land registration favoring Israeli control, and activation of the death penalty for certain Palestinian terror convictions in military courts, which includes children. It includes children. All right. That's enough on those cocksuckers. Let's see here. I got to scroll up for the next section. Oh, shit. Okay, just move that. Move that to 4. Let's see. So that's 3. All right. Yeah. Okay, so that comes after that anyway. All right. Cool. Sorry for the late start, ladies and gentlemen. I just kind of drug my feet on dropping my kids off. Who doesn't want more time with their kids? Who doesn't want more time with their children? Wasn't even supposed to have them, but I'm glad I did. Anyways, let's see here. Right to rape in Israel. You can't make this shit up. What was that on? Phone. Right to rape. There we go. This comes from Rex Jones at Rex Jones News with a Z. He said, tone deaf. There's a video of the prisoner being assaulted. Talking about 80 years ago isn't relevant to the systemic rape of Palestinian prisoners that's laughed about in the Knesset openly. So here we go. 40, and then you're doing it again! Nah, doesn't matter. All right. So let's see the Israelis freaking out about not being able to rape. The New York Times was the paper of record that downplayed Hitler's propaganda, his murder of Jews in the 1930s, 40s, and then you're doing it again! Really? History repeats itself, and now with social media, it is reposting itself. We will not answer this. There are a million of us in New York. A million. After my body, the number may be a little small, but it'll still be alive.
Hi, everybody. So as Trump and his admin is out there in the Middle East in the sandboxes searching for
a right to rape protest. What in the actual fuck? Pissed off because they cannot rape their prisoners or have dogs rape their prisoners. That's interesting. Isn't it? Anyway, let's get into the what would we call that? The electronic tyranny that is coming to America. It's already here. It's already fully implemented. Let's see, and let's dive right into it. With AI telling us not to hire humans. What is that at? Ooh-wee. All right, up just a little bit. Up just a little bit. Come on, come on. Can you see that? Pull you a little closer in here. Stop hiring humans billboards popping up from San Francisco to New York. AI startup Artisan pushing virtual sales reps to replace real workers. The era of AI employees is here, they claim. This tech could wipe out 600,000 plus jobs in the next 5 to 10 years. This is getting dystopian fast. Well, no shit, Sherlock. Good Lord. Find a better place to put that. There we go. Stop hiring humans. Hire the massive AI companies that are doing this to us. Yeah, do this instead. fuck people, right? Why hire people when you could just, oops. Oh my, went way too far there. Oh boy. Imminent domain. This comes from Wall Street Apes on X. The government is preparing to seize homes and land using eminent domain for the construction of a data center in Coweta County, Georgia. This American childhood home is being taken by force by Georgia Power. Homeowners in this county do not have a choice. It affects over 330 private properties. Let's just see what she has to say.
Hey guys, my name is Ansley. I live in Coweta County, Georgia. I wanted to come out here and show you guys firsthand what is happening to our county. So as you can see behind me, we have these power lines. Georgia Power is going to expand these lines to support power to the data center. What they're doing to homeowners is they're taking their homes. This is my childhood home behind me. It is being taken by force by Georgia Power. Homeowners in this county do not have a choice. It is called eminent domain, and they will take it.
Here we go again. We got another small town out there being blocked.
Especially now that they have implemented the military by calling it a national security event. Well, it's a matter of national security, so we gotta steal all your shit. Yeah, fuck you. How about that? How about fuck you? Give me an ungodly amount of money for my house, and maybe we can talk about you stealing my property in order to push your massive what do we call that? Oh my god. Oh, what have I been? I don't call them data centers anymore. I don't know. I'm drawing a blank. Drawing a blank. Imagine that. Son of a bitch. Oh, well, what the hell was I saying? Anyway, here's some more stealing more water. This comes from the Health Ranger at Health Ranger on X. The hyperscale data centers are literally stealing the water now, illegally tapping into the water mains and just taking millions of gallons under the table. A data center in Fayetteville, Georgia, drained approximately 30 million gallons of water through 2 industrial-scale hookups that the local utility did not know existed. One connection had been installed without the utility's knowledge, and the other was not linked to any... Oh, where did I end up? Account, and therefore was not being billed. The discovery only came after residents complained about low water pressure. The campus is still under construction with the completion projected 3 to 5 years out. So 3 to 5 years out, and they're already suffering all these consequences, such as low water pressure. and just their ability to get water disappearing. And the motherfucker isn't even done yet. A separate incident in Tucson last week saw Project Blue's contractor caught trucking municipal water out of a city that had explicitly voted against the project, with Tucson revoking the temporary meter and demanding 2 acre-feet of water credits to make the city whole. Like I said in the introduction, they're just moving in the big bully. They got the money, so they can do whatever the fuck they want, dude. Here's Project Matador. A massive AI data center, proposed to be built in Amarillo, Texas, will span over 18 million square feet, 7,570 acres, using 17 gigawatts and 1 billion gallons of water annually. Project Matador.
Gigawatts, okay? To put Texas, everything really is bigger in Texas. This is Project Matador. This will be the largest data center in the entire world. Understand the actual size of this. It's 18 million square feet, okay? You could fit 15 Disneylands.
15 Disneylands.
Okay, 15. It would encompass the whole island of Key West.
Key West?
You know how much power it uses? 17 gigawatts, okay? To put that into perspective, it is literally enough power for 3 Irelands. It would power the whole state of Colorado and requires more power than the whole country of New Zealand, 2.5 times. It would take literally 15
2.5 times the amount of an entire country.
Enough power for this thing to run. Don't worry, guys. It only uses nearly 1 billion gallons of water a year just to operate, even though they have a cooling system. Not only that, it'll literally produce nearly 23.5 million pounds of greenhouse gas emissions, which accounts for almost 15% of the whole state of Texas. How loud this thing is going to be, right? It's 90 to 120 decibels. That's the equivalent of being next to someone with power tools. Now imagine trying to sleep in
all day,
24/7. They're coming to a town near you. Just watch.
Rapid City, I'm looking at you.
Hey, you guys, it's Ansley from Cowrie County.
Oh, there's Ansley again. I guess she's running with the newly found fame. Good for you. Good for you. More people need to do that. More people need to be standing up. More people need to be doing what I do. It's not that hard. I mean, it takes, well, yeah, it is kind of difficult, I guess. It takes some time out of your life. But guess what? We're about to lose what's left of our freedoms. Unless you start standing up like Ansley does. Unless you just take a couple hours out of a Sunday to do what I do. If everybody did this, we wouldn't be having such an issue. They're just sleepwalking us into this tyranny, and most people are watching their football game. Yeah, well, watch your football game straight into tyranny. Straight into tyranny. Why not, right? Oh, did you hear about Dallas Cowboys this week? Yeah, I used to love the Cowboys until I realized how fucked we are as a country. At this point, as a world. Anyway, let's see here. Cutting power. Yeah, so they're literally cutting power for these fuckers now. Look at here. This, again, comes from at Health Ranger on X, the great Mike Adams. He said, wow, now they're just cutting off people from electricity. 50,000 homes in Nevada will just go dark and be completely cut off, all due to data centers needing the power. NV Energy, the Nevada utility that has supplied most of Lake Tahoe's electricity for decades, says that next year it will stop servicing homes in the area and instead direct that electricity to the growing demand from Nevada data centers. Northern Nevada is one of the fastest growing data center corridors in the country, not county, country. Excuse me. That's fun. Yeah, we're just going to cut you off. Fuck it. Data center needs it. So I guess you better find a way to power your home, right? Yeah, find a way to power your home. We're just going to leave you in the dust because the data center needs it. Look, at least casinos in Deadwood have to pay ungodly amounts for people's homes. Like, holy fuck. At what point, casinos have more integrity than these data centers? That's saying something, dude. I guess if they were given the power of the government, they wouldn't have to anyway. Or they wouldn't have to either. Which I'm surprised they don't. Data center recon. So if you see this, if you see a helicopter towing one of these over your neighborhood, bad news. Your town is getting a data center. They're running airborne electromagnetic surveys to map groundwater in the area. Translation: figure out how much water they can divert before people notice. I'll pull this picture up. So if you see something like this, kind of looks like a net or something, like a massive version of what you'd use to blow bubbles, you know, the one that You hold in your hand, dip in there, and you do this, and it's, yeah. So if you see an apparatus like this being pulled by a helicopter, it's time to start getting a hold of your local government. Local government, what anybody and everybody should be getting involved with, whether it's speaking to them, whether it's going to city council meetings, something, anything. Oh, I moved that. Hopefully, I didn't lose sound here. Speaking of these data centers, what are they being used for? What are these data centers being used for? Let's go ahead and let King Charles tell us, huh? I know this is in Britain, but usually what happens in Britain is coming our way. This is just one small thing. This is just one small thing that's going to be coming from these data centers. If you're going to implement national tyranny, digital tyranny, you're going to need a lot of power and data to do so. So let's see what King Charles has to say about it.
Ministers will also proceed with the introduction of digital ID that will modernize how citizens interact with public services. My ministers will also proceed.
Listen to it one more time.
Of digital ID.
Digital ID.
Will modernize how citizens interact with public services.
Yeah, wearing his gay ass purple robe and crown, and you know, I'm gonna turn that down a little bit. You know, when he had his kingship painting done, it looked pretty fucking satanic. Okay, pretty satanic. Some say that it even had a painting of Satan in it, and demons. These are the kind of people you want to listen to? These are the people you trust? Anyway, let's see what Larry Fink has to say. The BlackRock CEO. This comes from Shadow of Ezra on X. BlackRock CEO Larry Fink declares a preemptive war against American citizens who fight back against his precious AI data centers, warning that people could use inexpensive drones. He admits that BlackRock will control nearly all of the AI data centers being built across the United States because the government cannot afford to fund them on its own. But we can afford to send billions to Israel every year. He admits that we have to relook at all forms of security. Could it be domestic terrorism using a $3,000 drone? Many more things will have to be underground. So I'm going to get into this here in a little bit with Cuba. Operation Northwoods, staging terrorist attacks. Staging attacks in order for them to get what they want. You don't believe me? Let's listen to Larry Fink. Larry Fink saying it here.
But now, because of drone warfare, we have to relook at all forms of security. And the need for rebuilding the GCC region to rebuild it so that it could be in a position where it's not going to be obstructed by
in the 1880s, auto infrastructure, electric.
But even here in the United States, if we're going to be building, let's say, these 1 gigawatt data centers, how do we make sure we're not protecting those $50 billion, $75 billion investments? So we have to relook at everything.
Fuck you, Larry Fink.
Right now, we're looking at it internationally, but one of my concerns is, could it be a domestic terrorism using it?
Oh yeah, domestic terrorism. They love to say terrorism.
Are actually opportunities, not problems. It's going to require, as we said, trillions of dollars of capital. Governments cannot build these up alone. They don't have the wherewithal. And two,
you're going to sit and listen to a dude that crosses his legs like that?
Too little time talking about the U.S. deficits and other countries' deficits. So this is going to all be the role of private sector.
The small town of Missouri just voted out every single city council member who went behind.
That's the guy who's going to be controlling most of these data centers.
We're talking about Pieces, Missouri. That's
well, I have to pay for it because the U.S. government can't afford to, and you're not paying for it. They're getting tax breaks. They're getting the citizens of the cities and the counties that they're moving these into. They're getting they're raising the taxes. They're getting the money from the civilians to lose their property, lose their power, lose their water. Always hear these massive fucking things. We're paying for them to put us into an electronic tyranny, a digital tyranny. We're paying for it. And not by choice necessarily, but nonetheless, we are doing it. So here's a little, here's somebody that stood up to him. Like in Rocky 4. He's a man! He's not a machine! After Rocky makes him bleed. Yeah. As long as everybody is willing to actually start doing a little research and checking into shit and holding these people accountable, then you won't have to worry about it. If you have your entire community, the most important people in your community, the sheriff, the mayor, the cops, even your local National Guard, if you have all these people on board, they can't just roll this out on us. That way, the I'm just doing my job bullshit doesn't exist, because the people just doing their job will know that what they're doing is evil. They'll know that it doesn't have the people's best interest at heart. Anyway, let's see what they did in Texas. Leave it to the Texans, huh? Well, I guess this just comes from Marissa Hanson on X. Hill County just became the first county in Texas to pass a temporary moratorium on data centers. After 4 hours of public testimony, county commissioners voted to pause new data center development so the impacts on water, electricity, infrastructure, land, and local communities can actually be studied before projects move forward. Read that again. A Texas county has taken a bold stand, asserting the need for answers before relinquishing control over its future. This pivotal moment arises amidst a concerning trend across Texas, where rural counties are inundated with proposals for hyperscale data centers. However, many local governments lack the authority to effectively regulate these developments. Yeah, so you stand up. You stand up together. You stand up together. It's not just, I can't just make it happen myself. Say I go to the city council meeting, I'm the only fucking person that knows what's going on. Guess what? People are going to think I'm a nut. But if we talk to our neighbors, if we talk to the police, which I know it can be difficult, but there are good cops out there. And they are just normal people. Just talk to them. You see them at the grocery store, the gas station, whatever. Just say, hey, did you hear what's going on with those data centers? It's easy. Just something off like that. You don't have to give them the full breakdown, the whole la 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 la. You just, hey, did you hear about what they're trying to do with data centers in these cities in Texas? Man, that's crazy. And then the cop or whoever is going to ask, well, what do you mean? And then you just give them a quick breakdown. This shit is so simple. It's so simple to beat if we do it together. You don't just sit here and listen to me and just have it in your head and then, oh, well, I'm not going to talk to my people at work about it. They're going to think I'm fucking crazy. That needs to go away. God did not grant us a soul that's cowardly, but one that's strong. And I know I butchered the fuck out of that, but it gets to the point. We're not meant to be timid. If we know about something, we need to speak up about something and tell everybody you know about it. Every week I come on here and I give you all the ammunition you need. You just have to reciprocate it. You need to send it out there. I don't care. Make a little live video and send it into the void. Shit, that's how I started. I was getting like 2 views per video. Now on Instagram, I hardly ever post a video that gets less than 300 views or less than 200 views. What I'm saying is you don't need to get big about it, but if you talk about it and you expose it, people see it. And that's why I created most of my platform on Instagram.